All right, man. This is the Quicksilver Show. Rapsody is here. Welcome.
Yes, Queen.
I'm happy to be here. I love the DMV. What's up?
Hey, the DMV loves you, man. You definitely what I call a lyricist by heart and a lyricist by night and day, because when I say Rapsody is one of those names that a lot of artists respect from the jump. There's artists that artists love, and there's artists that the fans love. You're like an artist.
Yeah.
Like, have you heard that before?
I had all the time. The brothers and the sisters in the industry, my peers, they show a lot of love, always been respectful, always respected me. So yeah, it feels good. You know, that's the thing you can't pay for.
Absolutely.
Is to have respect. So I respect them, they respect me, and it works beautifully.
Now, just in case somebody does not know about Rapsody and the Rapsody story, just take us back. Of course, you're from North Carolina.
Yeah, I'm from North Carolina.
Give us a little backstory on who Rapsody is.
Man, I'm from North Carolina. I grew up in a small town out east, Snow Hill, North Carolina. Grew up a Jehovah's Witness. Played basketball when I was younger. I've always known I wanted to do music. It was MC Light's Poor Georgie video. I was probably 6 years old. I knew I wanted to do music, but I was a late bloomer. I didn't get into it till I got in college at NC State. Met with some friends. We love hip hop. We started an organization there called H2O, the hip hop organization. And I met Ninth through these group of people. And we eventually became a group, Cooley High, with my friends from school. And Ninth was our mentor. Took us under his wing. I eventually left the group. I went solo. I signed with Ninth and Jamla Records in 2010. Released my first project, Returning to B-Girl. Released 7-8 projects after that, mixtapes, EPs. And I worked with Kendrick Lamar. That was a big time in my career, big moment. I was on Complexion, on To Pimp a Butterfly. Been co-signed by Dr. Dre. I signed with RocNation the summer of 2016.
Come on now, clap about that, people. She's with RocNation.
Let me see. Mac Miller was a huge part of my career. One of my first peers to really lend his own fandom, to support me. Took me on my first tour in 2011. The rest is history. I got nominated for my first Grammy with To Pimp a Butterfly. 2-time Grammy nominated with my last album.
Should have won one, but we're gonna leave that alone.
This year,
come on now,
into existence.
And now we in the present. My third studio album, Eve. I dropped it August 23rd. So yeah.
And Ninth wanted to produce pretty much the whole album.
No,
he didn't.
He produced 6 songs.
Nice.
Eric G, who's also on our production team called the Soul Council, he produced 5. Crisis produced 1. Knots from Virginia produced 2. And there's a new producer from Atlanta by the name of Mark Bird.
I was looking at the song title of your album, and they're all names of
black
powerful
women.
Black girl, man, from Oprah to just explain the inspirational naming these songs after these powerful black women, because black girls rock, as you know.
All the time, black girl magic, as they say. The idea. I've always kind of talked about being a black woman and saluted black women. I have songs from other projects like Tina Turner, Betty Shabazz. But I was inspired to do a whole project where I named them after black women, because I did an interview and he was talking about how we were talking about the family tree of North Carolina. Right. And he was like, you're a direct descendant of Nina Simone and Roberta Flack. You come from that family tree. So it just sparked the idea of, I'm inspired and I'm part of a bunch of black women. When people ask me who my influences are, I say Lauryn Hill, I say MC Light, I say Queen Latifah, but I also say Cicely Tyson and Felicia Rashad and Nikki Giovanni. So, I wanted to show, that we all come from or inspired by a bunch of powerful black women, that representation matters, to show that, black women aren't monolith, that, all of us and all our glory and all our attitudes and all our flavors, is special and it should be respected, that I can't be boxed in, that I have different sides of me. But I also wanted to take the opportunity to name them after, women that everybody would know or didn't know. So when they see these songs, it's like, who is a Feenie? Let me go Google a Feenie and keep their legacies going.
Knowledge.
So yeah.
Yeah, you just turned into the Quicksilver Show. Of course, we're talking to Rapsody.
Yeah, now talk about working with Queen Latifah, because I know you have a track
the
with her.
Queen.
Now let's be clear, I cannot pronounce the name of it, so I definitely did. Okay, exactly. And that was the first pharaoh.
The first female pharaoh of Africa.
Right, okay. So talk about the process of working with Queen. What was her input like like on the song and the album in its entirety?
Man, that was dope. I work with a whole lot of people, and that's my favorite person I've ever had the opportunity to create with, just because it was a whole experience. You know, one is full circle because I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing without her. Yeah. Be the artist I am, the woman that I am. So, you know, the first time she called me, it felt like I had known her forever. She just made me so comfortable. She brought me in. She told me how she was a fan. She heard of me on Pandora. So before we even did any music, she probably called me every day for a week. And we talk about not even music, you know, she just tell me stories of what she did that day, or stories from the past, to give me advice. And then when I got to LA, we got in the studio together and I played the album. And that's, you know, when she give me pointers like on Cleo, I had a different hook, and she was like, I love the song, but the hook is, you could probably do something better. That's
dope. Gotta listen to the queen.
Got to, like, and I appreciate her honesty in that. And as artists, like, that's when you can't have an ego and you can't get in your feelings. Like, that's advice. You should want to have that. That means people care about you. So I changed the hook on Cleo because of her. I had a different title for the album. She was like, it could be better. I changed the album title because of her. Then the next day we went to her house and we worked on the song Hatshepsut. And I told her that it was something that I wanted to do subject-wise, to talk about how we're all queens and we're all royal.
We are.
And
no, the song was dope. Y'all both snapped on it.
Thank you. Yeah, and we just sat, we talked, and we just worked on the song together. That was it.
Hey, Rapsody, I definitely salute you. Now, of course, one more time before you get out here, plug the album, and then we're going to play the single. So if anybody don't have the album already, just talk about the album, your social media, where they can follow you, and then we're going to get into the single.
Okay, my album Eve is out. It features Queen Latifah, El Varner, PJ Morton, D'Angelo, Jizza,
all that.
Katie
Talk your stuff,
47,
sis.
you know, a bunch of dope artists. It's my love letter to Black women, but also Black women's love letter to the world. So this is Eve, the album.
Hey, this is the Quicksilver Show, Rapsody. And where can they follow you on social media in case they're not already following you?
Yeah, on social media, you can follow me at Rapsody, Rapsody. You can check out the website, IamRapsody.com. You know, get the album, watch the videos, get tour tickets. I'm on tour with Big Crit starting October 6th.
Nice.
Get merch and all that fly stuff.
Say less is Rapsody right here on the Quicksilver Show.
Every day I'm with Quicksilver.